and welcome to the show. Great to be with you. Thanks for stopping by. Glad you could, and we're glad to be here with you. Hope you're having a good day, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show, and whatever you may be doing. Messing with my hair here. Got a haircut, and I can return back to civilization now. Somebody asked, are you auditioning for a passion play? I said, no. I wouldn't even pretend to do that. Hope you are well, and a lot going on. I always tell you that. There's a couple of stories trending today, one of which is highly, profoundly provocative. And woe betide the claim being made in this story if it's not fulfilled. You'll see what I mean. And there's a recall, but not with food. What could it be? I'll tell you about that as well. And this business I alluded to, that I was talking about it the other day. I was alluding to it, Alzheimer's, dementia. And there's a new report out. There's an assumption being made that if you keep the brain active and stimulated in various different ways, like crossword puzzles and such, but there's been a suggestion for a good while that if people who have an education, higher education, beyond high school, there was some belief that perhaps those people would have less of a risk for dementia or Alzheimer's, a form of it specifically, because doing college work and then postgraduate work and so on would stimulate the brain, and that would be a good thing and protect the brain. Well, I'll report on that today. And let's see if that assumption and that belief has some merit. And then if I can get to it, I'll tell you an interesting, down in Key West. I've been to Key West. It's an interesting place to visit. It's fun. Of course, when you're there, I mean, every product known to humankind related to water is sold there. And one of those products is sunscreen. There's more sunscreen in Key West than there are grains of sand around it. And there's apparently the community of Key West has decided to take some steps about sunscreen. I'll share that with you as well. Wonder what that's about. And speaking of beaches and sand and water behind me, I know I'm not outside on Clearwater Beach, but that is just a beautiful shot. I love the shot because it's so fresh and natural and organic. It's great. It's a great shot. That's what it's like around here. But people who live here don't go there.
You can't park.
Can't park, man. We don't go to the beach, man.
Because you can't park.
There's Clearwater. How many beaches? We got Clearwater. Stephen, help me out. We got Clearwater Beach, St. Pete Beach. What are all these beaches around here? I mean, there's one after another.
Yeah, we've even got places named Apollo Beach that have no beach.
Yeah. It's got a huge...
What, they don't, Stephen?
Not really. They actually kind of have a little nature reserve that's sort of beaches, but for the longest time it was Apollo Beach, but there was no actual beach there.
How many beaches do we have around these parts? Take a look. They're one after another, right? So I happen to like St. Pete Beach. St. Pete Beach.
Yeah, I'm a St. Pete Beach guy.
It's less frenetic. It's a beautiful beach. Gary's sort of right about parking. You can find they have parking.
Well, you got Fort DeSoto, Clearwater. You know,
These are they're beautiful beaches, and they're just lovely. It's lovely.
Caldesi, Archibald,
Madeira,
Madeira, Davis Island,
Indian
Egmont Key.
Rocks, Johns Pass.
There you go.
I mean,
Indian Rocks, Johns Pass.
Keeps going.
Fred
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually Fred Howard, which is just a little bit north over in Tarpon.
That's shot behind me,
Yeah.
and it's just beautiful. But we don't go. The people that live here, most of us don't go. It's hot. Sun is brutal. I don't know.
I mean, you guys mentioned the parking itself. I mean, that's just a stressful adventure just getting there to the beach. It
Yeah.
almost makes the trip to the beach not worth it because of all the stress and built-up anxiety of trying to find a parking spot. It's gotten to the point where they actually have large ride-sharing services, not just like the Ubers or the Lyfts and things, but like a county-run ride-sharing services where they park you off-site and bus you into the beach,
Yeah.
and bus you back, and that's
man.
not fun, especially if you have like a family and kids and all the hustle and
man.
bustle.
No.
But we love the tourists that come in.
Yeah.
And take advantage.
God bless them. Please come.
Yeah.
Spend your money.
And it's always nice when you have the hotel right next to the beach that you're staying in. That way, you
Of course,
can
the
just go,
Don
boop.
Cesar is notable, right?
I mean, I stay there all the time.
He's a fifth floor guy at the Don.
Actually, sixth. You don't know about that one, Gary.
It's the Pink Hotel. I used to go there all the time. I've been there when they film movies, and I've seen movie stars floating around literally all over the place. It can be exciting. It's good. It's a good way to de-stress. But Steven's right. You got to go early in the morning, get there real early, and and then leave at noon, 1 o'clock. Get out of there. California is a place where I've lived, and I mentioned the environment because I can tell you when I used to drive from San Francisco, take a drive down the Pacific Coast Highway. There's the Don Cesar. It's literally Pink Hotel. I've been by that pool a million times. When you drive down the Pacific Coast Highway, if you didn't believe in a higher order, if you didn't believe in God before you started that drive, and I would drive from San Francisco down to Monterey, by the time you got to Monterey, you'd want to go find a church because it is so awe-inspiring and beautiful. It's just remarkable how phenomenal it is, that drive down to PCH. Have you ever taken that drive?
Yes, sir. I didn't do it all the way, but I did half. And then stayed out in Big Bear.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't been out to Lake Arrowhead, Big Bear in California, it's amazing.
It's amazing. And I love living there. I would move there and live there, but it just didn't work out that way. I used to live in Southern California, and I can tell you that it affected me in a very different way. You're I can't explain it. Maybe you've had that experience where the environment, you're just different. You feel different. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. That deals with wellness and well-being. Where you live makes a difference. You take humans and you crowd them into a place in the city, inner city, wherever, and with no services and, dark, dingy, dirty. No. Change people, it does affect behavior. But it's beautiful here in Florida. We love it. And I hope where you are, you make the best of it. We try to make the best of it here, too. Come back. I'm going to report on this one story. I'm telling you, I have a few comments about it. They better be right. That's all I'm saying. Because you'll see what I'm getting at. I'll do that right when I come back. I'll get into it. You are listening to Let's Talk Nutrition, coast to coast and globally. Back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Thanks for tuning in today, whether you're listening or viewing the show. Over the years, there have been numerous stories, some that have appeared in not so reputable publications and media outlets, and some that have appeared on 60 Minutes. And the some that I'm referring to are stories about cures for cancer. I recall seeing at least 2 or 3 stories on 60 Minutes over the years about cures for cancer. Well, there's a story trending today about a company in Israel entitled called Accelerated Evolution Biotechnologies, AEBI. AB. I'm even reluctant to report this. Let me give you a quote from one of the principals from Accelerated Evolution Biotechnologies. Quote, they told the Jerusalem Post, quote, "We believe we will offer in a year's time a complete cure for cancer," close quote. A fellow by the name of Dan Aridor. He's chairman of the board for this company. He went on to say, quote, "Our cancer cure will be effective from day one, will last a duration of weeks, and will have no minimal side effects at a much lower cost than other treatments on the market. Our solution will be both generic and personal," close quote. I'm editing in my head right now what I want to say. I have to be careful. This company, Accelerated Evolution of Biotechnology, claims it has developed this technology that makes use of what's called personalized therapy. It's targeted therapy is what it is. That targets specific cells specific to each patient. A claim that has been met with skepticism in the medical community. Up the road a piece from where I'm broadcasting today and every day is Moffitt Cancer Center. I'm very familiar with Moffitt. I went there to get a second opinion when I was diagnosed with cancer. And it's quite an institution here in the community. Let me give you let me just hold on to that for a second. There's a physician there at Moffitt, Dr. Vince Luca. He's a PhD. He's a principal investigator in drug discovery at Moffitt Cancer Center. Here's what he said. Quote, "There are over 200 human cancers. Finding a cure for even one of two would be a major accomplishment. Claiming to cure them all is impossible," close quote. Thank you, Dr. Luca. I don't know what this outfit is doing, but it's irresponsible. I'm not functioning as a journalist now. It's irresponsible for this company to do this. If I had that guy in front of me, he would get an earful from me. This Dan Aridor, chairman of the Accelerated Evolutionary Biotechnologies. I don't know what kind of creature this is, but to make that claim, he has no clue, none, zero, what it means to have cancer. If he did, he wouldn't be doing this foolishness. I would like to just rap him a good one. I really would. It upsets me. You have no idea. I fought for my life for 2 years, and this guy's coming out with a claim like this? He's going to cure over 200 different forms of cancer in one fell swoop and give people false hope? You don't know. I've seen so many cancer patients. They'll hang on. Some will hang on to anything. They'll believe anything. They're so frightened and so in a state of disarray. And I understand it. And there'll be some poor soul out there that's going to believe this nitwit.
Do you think it has anything to do with something we touched on about several months ago about vacation health care? These people that were taking these vacations to other countries and getting health care at cheaper rates.
Yeah.
Especially since the article was, one of the articles that was, this is what I'm using, is Forbes. The article that I'm showing now actually came out of Forbes magazine, which is, and then the company's actually traded on the stock exchange. Just a thought.
It's all about money, Gary. Targeted cancer therapy, Gary, is nothing new. Researchers have been able to target specific components of cancer cells by replicating antibodies, the proteins that your body makes to mark disease cells for immune attack. And right now, what they're trying to do is get the immune system. Scientists are working mightily around the world to try to get the immune system to become the primary agent for cure and targeting these cancer cells. There are more than a dozen of these antibodies have already been approved by the FDA to treat different cancers, such as some types of breast cancer and some forms of leukemia. They're making progress. Come back, I'll tell you more, and I'll try to maintain my composure.
Don't be stressed out or anxious.
believe we will offer in a year's time a complete cure for cancer. Close quote. So said Dan Arador, chairman of the board of Accelerated Evolution Biotechnologies. Wow. I gave you one example of a pushback on this story. There's been a lot of pushback on it. A Dr. Len Lichtenfeld, Dr. Lichtenfeld, he's the chief medical officer at the American Cancer Society. He went on to say, it goes without saying we all share the aspirational hope that they are correct. Unfortunately, we must be aware that this is far from proven as an effective treatment for people with cancer, let alone a cure. And what he's talking about is they've developed this therapy where they use peptides. Peptides are amino acids linked together in a chain, creating a polypeptide. And they're connected. The amino acids are connected by peptide connections, links, bonding, whatever. Dr. Lichtenfeld went on. He made several points. He said that this is a news report. There's limited information provided by the researchers and the company that are working on this targeted technology. It hasn't been published in any scientific literature. It hasn't been reviewed. The people at the American Cancer Society said it's called PHAG, P-H-A-G, or peptide display techniques. It's not a new idea. It's been around. It's been useful tool for selecting high affinity binders, but have a difficult road as a potential drug or drugs. Based on a mouse experiment, which is described as this is laboratory research. It was a mouse model that they used. They got a long way to go. They haven't even started their trials, man. And they're saying these things. And Dr. Lichtenfeld said, we all have hope that a cure for cancer can be found quickly. It is certainly possible this approach may work. However, as experience has taught us so many times, the gap from a successful mouse experiment to effective beneficial application of exciting laboratory concepts to helping cancer patients at the bedside is in fact a long and treacherous journey filled with unforeseen and unanticipated obstacles. Close quote. Man, that's an understatement. It is irresponsible, unprincipled, unethical, and quite frankly, stupid for this company to come out and say this. It's outrageous. They have no business doing this. None. There are people, tens of millions of people diagnosed with cancer that are dying as I speak. And this nitwit comes out and gives this press conference, a press release, and says this, giving false hope to people. He doesn't have a clue what it means to have cancer. None. Zero. You know, zero. Zero. If he did, he would never do this. I hope he's right. And if he's right, man, I'll be the first one to celebrate him. But he's not. There are over 200 different forms of cancer. You heard me give you that quote from the researcher at Moffitt here right here, right up the road from where I'm at right now, at Moffitt Cancer Center here in Tampa. He said I'll quote him. He said it's impossible. Close quote. It's impossible. They're going to cure all forms of cancer with this one therapy. Really? I told Gary I will be an astronaut training for NASA, going to get ready to go to Mars before that happens. Tell them how to connect.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897.
it was a difficult 2 years for me. And the odds of me sitting here talking to you right now, I don't even know how that even happened. So I take it